Welcome to Seek Reality with Roberta Grimes. Joyous conversations about what the afterlife evidence and modern science combine to tell us is true about our one reality. You have nothing to fear. You are eternal and you are perfectly loved. Knowing the truth changes everything. Now, here's Roberta.
Welcome to Seek Reality. I'm Roberta Grimes, and I am so happy to have you with us today. Oh, my dear friends, one of the wonderful, best possible things about what we do together each week is the many, many people I meet in the course of doing this work, and the fact that they have done so many of the same general kinds of research that I've done, and they've learned a lot about what reality actually is, just as I have, and how it works. We all do live in one reality after all, and it is one reality, but it's a gigantic and very complex reality. And when you think about it, the materialist scientists really can't make any kind of sense of it at all, can they? The kind of research they do makes you think of that old story of the four blind men and the elephant. And those men are trying to study and comprehend that gigantic elephant. So think of that story. One of them grabs the elephant by the tail and he says, "Hey, it's like a rope. It's a rope." Another blind man is hugging its leg and he says, "Oh, no, it's more like a tree. It's a tree." Another is feeling along its body. Remember this story? He says, "You're both crazy. It's like a wall." This is the scientists. This is what they're doing even today. The one beside that man who insists it's a wall is flapping its ear back and forth, and he says, "You guys are all crazy. What we have here is a sail." But that fifth guy, he's grabbed the elephant's trunk, and what do you think he thinks it is? Yeah, you're right. He thinks what they found is a flexible pipe, and he thinks he has a secret to reality right there in his little hands. That is science even today. But the people who are free of the scientific materialist dogma, those are the real experts nowadays. And I love interviewing them because they are free to study the truth. And what we have today is a wonderful, wonderful guest who also has been free to study the truth. And she has written a terrific book about her studies too. And I haven't been able to finish her book. I will finish it though, because I think it's a beautiful book. Our guest today is Laurie Seymour, and she is a beautiful, beautiful human being because she has actually followed a lot of the same trails I have followed, and she is a spiritual seeker par excellence. She's written a beautiful book. It's called Unconditional Remembrance. I love that title. Your connection to Source. Once again, someone else who has followed all those trails, gone deep inside herself and discovered who she truly is. She has discovered her source. She can help you discover your source. She has invented now something beautiful in following her source to its source. She is a powerful host of what she calls Wisdom Talk Radio, an international executive mentor and certified master trainer. She's the founder and CEO of the Baca Institute. She's the author of that beautiful book, Unconditional Remembrance, Your Connection to Source. And she tells us that more than 25 years ago, she was honored to receive the stewardship of a special energetic technique called Turiya Touch and Turiya Meditation, and they're both copyrighted terms. She tells us that they activate your connection with Source, help you raise your vibration and amplify your ability to create from the infinite field of potential. And that sounds pretty great to me. There are many ways to go back to your own source. And here is another one. And I followed and read enough of her book to see that she is on the right track. So I'm excited to hear her say more. But Laurie, welcome. I am really happy to have you with us today.
Roberta, thank you. What a beautiful, the whole story of how you just started us off feels like we are in for a rich conversation.
Well, it's your conversation, my dear. You wrote that book, and you think about so many of the things that you and I battle together, because
Hmm.
all of us begin with this scientific community based in matter, which keeps insisting we are all wrong, doesn't it? It tells us we can't be doing what we believe we're doing. And what we're finding can't really be there, can it? So still we keep finding what we keep finding, and we pursue it more and more, and it's more and more glorious. So talk about
Yeah.
what you finally did and how you finally found what you found.
Hmm. I'm trying to see whether that phrase of finally found really fits for me. And I'm not sure it does. Sorry?
For a long time, I thought they had to be right. How could I be right?
Ah, okay. So for me, it wasn't exactly they were right and I wasn't. It was more, I thought that they knew something, some secret that I didn't know.
All right, that's the same thing.
And so maybe that's the same thing. Okay. And
How could they all be wrong?
well, it wasn't a wrong or right because I don't want to make anybody else wrong. It's just there's so much more.
That's
And it
right.
was the moreness of it that I was so
The
interested
moreness
in.
of it. Okay. Yeah, we were in the same place once, right?
Yeah, yeah. And so if we want to follow along the traditional paths in whatever field that's in, we come to a point where we say there's got to be more.
There has
There
to
is
be
something
more.
more.
Yep.
And as we're sensing into that, or we're just feeling that without even a specially regimented way of approaching that,
Yeah. That's right.
something opens up because we start having to then bring into some kind of resonance what we've been taught with what we're now sensing.
Yes, beautifully said. Exactly right. That's right.
And so when we hit that place, sometimes we don't know where to turn. And often, I mean, a lot of the people that come to be with me are in that place, whatever field they're in, because it doesn't really matter.
That's
And
right.
I used to do a lot of work with innovators, and I still do, but I think I've gone beyond even the thinking of them as innovators. We're all innovators if we choose to live the full life that we have available to us.
Yes.
Mm.
So tell people that everyone listening is eager to hear your story.
Mm.
As I've said to you, many people who write books like yours because they have found what they were looking for,
Mm.
they don't do it. They don't write their book the way you did because you wrote your book about your journey, which means that people who pick your book up can follow your journey. And I think that's so important
Mm.
because people who then want to make it their journey can follow your journey step by step, and that makes it real to them.
Yeah. And it's not, I want to put a little caveat in it. There is no step by step. There is, because that's too linear. That's linear. But we have to be willing to go into the unknown over and over and over again. And so for me, it was moving from what I studied, which was the field of psychology. I was a psychotherapist for a number of years. I left that actually when I had experiences working with energy and really meeting a particular person who became a teacher, where I had experiences that I couldn't fit into any of the old paradigms.
Mm-hmm.
And so that caused, well, wait a minute, I had already had so much self-doubt, but at that time, and this is already a long time ago,
Mm-hmm.
things opened up in me that then I got to explore. It was like, oh, that's what this is. That's what this feels like. And it was the experience of unconditional love. And what I came to was understanding that that's what we come in with. That's what we come into physical reality with.
Yeah.
But then we forget. We forget and we forget. And then we might remember a little and then we forget again.
Yeah.
And that forgetting leads to so much doubt about what is real and who am I and what do I have to offer. So that's really why I untitled this Unconditional Remembrance, because when we step into that place of knowing without that old doubt hanging around, of feeling in our physical bodies that we are love, that this that surrounds us, we are part of.
Yeah.
This field of unlimited potential that you referenced in the beginning, we are part of that.
Yeah.
And we get to experience and experiment and be the inner researcher to continue to discover more of what that is. So it's not a coming to an end point. It's, oh, I know there's even more.
It's a sense of opening of you
Yes.
always know once you're on the right path, you always know that you are. It feels more and more as if you're coming closer and closer and closer to what is more and more and more right. I know that sense. Everyone who knows who's on this right path knows that feeling.
Yes.
It's exciting.
It is exciting and it's joyful.
Yeah. So happy.
Yeah.
So happy.
You know, I want to say to our listeners, if you're feeling judged in any way by whatever the path is you're on
the wrong path.
Take a look. You're on. I could say, I don't even want to say it quite that way, just because that sounds like more judgment.
But you know it doesn't feel right.
Yeah, exactly. Because I'm feeling that judgment, which sets up this push-pull in us. That's not what we're here for.
No.
We are here to create. And we are inherently creators. And so one of the things that I was moved to do in this book is to put in a lot about how to become your own inner researcher, what questions you can ask of yourself so that you start getting an expanded picture of what's possible.
Mm-hmm. The more it feels right, the more it feels more right.
Yes. Yes.
You know, and the happier you are. I mean, when you feel happy, you know, I mean, it becomes more and more instinctive. I can't ever remember. And also, all your fear goes away. There's fear and negativity, but then as soon as you realize you don't fear anything anymore, then you know you're starting to fly.
Yeah. And I still will come to a place in myself where, okay, something is ended, meaning there's been some completion. And okay, but in that completion, in that time of completion, there's also an experience that I step into, and I think people in general do, of what I call the void, of that place between. You've completed something, but whatever is next hasn't yet unfolded. It hasn't begun yet. And so I don't know who I am. I've stepped into the unknown, and I'm no longer fearful of that unknown, but I am a bit uncomfortable because our frequency rate in our cells is increased. It's shifting. And so there's a time of getting used to what that is, what it's becoming, what's possible now that wasn't before. The way our resonance works is we're looking for where we're most resonant next.
Yeah.
What's the resonant next step?
I remember that feeling. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it gets you're vibrating higher and higher and higher.
While our feet are still on the ground.
You're feeling, yes. Oh, yes. I remember very well.
Yeah. And so the experience of what is it next that we wish to create becomes a really important question.
Yeah.
because it's not just about sitting back. It's not about sitting on the top of a mountain. It's about how is it that we want to use this energy for creation?
Yeah, there's an urgency in that too. You start wanting to do more and more.
Yeah.
I started riding a tricycle, to tell you the truth.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, every morning I ride a tricycle.
Oh, I love that. I love that. What happens, or how is it for you?
I can't wait to get on that stupid little thing every single day. It's the best in the world. Oh, the thing is, people our age, my age, don't have the same kind of balance we used to have. So you can't really trust a bicycle anymore.
Oh.
But a tricycle is very safe.
So are you taking that out on the streets?
No, well, my neighborhood is very safe.
No, I didn't mean that. I just didn't know if you were doing that outdoors or if you were doing
sure. Sure.
That's even more appealing to me. Wow.
Oh, yes, it's the best in the world. Oh, my goodness. I have more fun, but it's great exercise.
Of course. I'm going to look into that.
Half an hour every single day.
Wow.
Adult trikes. Yes, it's the best in the world. Just Google them. Adult trikes.
Yeah.
They have a basket in the back. You can go buy your groceries. Oh, they're the
wow. Best. So, that kind of thing, you've created something for yourself in your life that allows you allows for joy. I think that's the thing.
It's safer than walking because you can't fall down. And it's safer by far than riding a bicycle, and yet it gives you the same feeling that as if you are riding a bicycle.
You don't ride it in the streets, though, I bet.
I don't need to because we've got it's a street. I mean, it's in my neighborhood.
No, but you're not in the streets with traffic.
Yes, but the traffic all goes very slowly, and I'm not the only woman in my neighborhood now.
You've started a trend.
More and more people in my neighborhood are going to start riding trikes, I think.
Wow.
Here's one of the best things about it. Don't buy a Schwinn. For half price, you can buy an off-brand trike. Here's a tip. And what's the brand that's on the side of it? Moon Cool. Now, anybody can be cool, right? Very few people are truly moon cool. I just got to say.
I can see that you are.
So much. And I ride it every single day for half an hour. And I do some speeding, but I'm mostly just pedaling along. And I can't tell you, I already feel healthier than I felt when I didn't have my bike.
Wow.
So, little tip for people who thought they were getting old. I feel 40 years old now. Seriously.
Yeah.
Go get yourself a trike and get you young.
So I wonder what things that people are considering, thinking, but they get an idea about something. But do they stop themselves, or do they say, let me experiment? Let me see what this is like.
Many people think, oh, I'm too old to do that.
Yes, right. Or whatever it is. I don't have the credentials.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, until you decide to be old, you are not old. When I am 95, I will still be doing all the same things I'm doing now, and I will not be old.
Yeah.
It's all in your mind.
Yet there are still so many people, no matter what their age, they stop themselves. So when I do terrain meditation sessions, so I teach that twice a week online.
Talk about that. Talk about what your process is, because it's looked fascinating.
And Terrea Touch is a hands-on way of working with the energies.
Okay.
And so both were brought through by my teacher, Dawn. And they are a way of working with higher consciousness energy to actually activate that process within you of accessing your own creative intelligence.
Wow.
Your own creative intelligence, the creative intelligence of the universe. And so sometimes, especially like I'll do a Tereya touch session, and someone will have a thought, and it'll be a different kind of thought than they've maybe ever had. And I'll say, pay attention to that.
Yeah.
Because that might be a step in a whole new direction, a whole new part of yourselves that you've never experienced or thought to experiment with.
Right. Right.
Yeah, and I see that almost every time in the Tereya meditation sessions that people will say, well, I got this sense of a whole new course that I want to teach. I got the content.
Isn't that exciting?
It's so exciting. It's so exciting. Somebody this morning, because I do them Tuesdays and Thursdays, somebody this morning was saying it was a delicious feeling of like there were champagne bubbles underneath my skin.
Oh, isn't that wonderful?
Isn't that wonderful? And he was talking about how he felt in so much celebration. So I get to do these sessions with people twice a week, and people come in. It's not a long thing. It's 45 minutes, and there's time for me to, I do a little teaching talk. We do the meditation, and it's a silent meditation. And I'm working with everybody energetically during that time. And then people get to share, what was their experience?
Right.
And when when people get to hear each other and you get to speak it actually anchors it in your own body.
Yes. Speaking what's happening aloud helps people to claim what is happening inside them.
Yeah.
That is so true and so beautiful.
Yeah.
Isn't that wonderful?
It is.
Wow. Do they act on these things? These that have come?
Oh my goodness. Yes. This morning, someone just said, well, I got my 5th book up. So she's got 5 new books published. And
isn't that wonderful?
She just went on and on with that. And it was like, oh my goodness.
Well, I'm doing that too, by the way.
Of course.
I'm about to publish some romantic novels. So there. Mm-hmm. Which I wrote 15, 20 years ago, but I felt too dignified to publish them then. But now I'm not.
Now it's dignity be damned.
Yeah, my spirit guide told me it's time now to publish them. I said, "You're kidding! I get to do that too?"
Wow.
Of course, I get to do that too.
Yeah,
but I have to be this old to do that. So I said,
"Bravo, bravo!"
Wouldn't you believe? And actually, there's a publisher that loves them. So hey, okay, we'll do it.
Sure, why not?
Yeah, I had to wait till my guide said I could do it, though.
Well, because there's right timing to things. That's another thing we could talk about is, how...
Now that I'm new cool, I can do that.
Well, we can have an idea about something. So what I work with is a process called the quantum connection process that I developed. Yeah. And it's bringing all of these things together. And it's even bringing together my solutions engineering work that I did for a dozen years. And it's how do we best connect with, or how do we normally connect with that creative field?
Right.
And that creative field is endless.
Yeah.
But what's our style? What's our archetype of connecting with it? Yeah. And so when we know that, when we have a sensing of that, then we start to also see, okay, what am I overlooking? What do I tend to do? And what could I be missing out on? Like one of the quantum connection archetypes, for example, is the creative dreamer. And it's someone that gets a lot of ideas, and they're filled with great ideas, and they're great ideas. But what they need to learn, or what they could learn, is discernment. So is this idea for me? Maybe it's for somebody else. Is this an idea that's for now? Maybe it's for next year, because there's a lot of other things that need to line up. There's people that need to come into place. There's situations that need to shift. Mm-hmm. And then it's right timing. It's like with your romance novels. Oh, that wasn't time. Now it is.
Well, fortunately, I'm very close to my guide. We talk frequently, and With all my books, he's set the timing. And I was really surprised when he said, "Hey, it's time to do those novels now." And I said, "Really? I had no idea." So, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But, life is so wonderful. When you're starting out living it, you have no idea how wonderful it is. As someone once said, youth is really wasted on the young. They think it's going to go on forever, but they also live it so shallowly. They don't really get into it much.
Well, if you're trying to succeed, if you're trying to live within the confines of what's expected, of others' expectations of us.
You expect money to be the measure, and money is not even a measure of anything.
Mm-hmm.
It's so, and even fame is not the measure of anything. Love is really the measure of all of it.
Mm-hmm.
And
money can be a high vibration in the metaphysical, and it is, but our attachment to it keeps us stuck.
Yeah, it's what you're able to do with it for other people is a measure, and it's the only measure. I think. I mean,
yeah. I'm thinking about how do we go beyond measure, and not to measure, because measuring is still from the outside.
That's true, but it's useful. It's only useful if something is done with it that is itself useful.
You're talking about with money.
Yeah. I still don't really understand it.
I don't have to judge it for someone else.
Yeah. Yeah.
But if I'm using it as a measure of my own worth,
No,
yikes.
not at all. No.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I sort of overuse my guide. I just always turn to him and say, "You tell me." And I shouldn't. He's just agreeing with me now. I should not be doing that. I should be trying to understand it more myself. That's growing up. Really. I don't know. These things are so heavy. And the more I think I grow spiritually, the lighter I become, the more I want to just be moon cool. Bicycle.
You can be moon cool, then some days you could be sun cool.
But then when I ever saw that bicycle, because my husband just ordered it and gave it to me for my birthday, and when I ever saw it, because, you could buy the identical bicycle. He proved to me it was identical with a Schwinn or with this, no-name Chinese version. They were identical.
Well, and I'd rather sure be moon cool than Schwinn.
Yeah, the Schwinn was 600. The moon cool one was 300. And so my husband, of course, bought the one was 300. He is the very, very, he manages our money and does it very well, and he certainly bought the cheaper one. But I love it much better than I could ever love anyone.
Yeah. It sounds like he manages your fun, too.
Yeah. Well, no, he doesn't, actually. The older we get, the more he just figures, I'm going to do whatever I want to do anyway, no matter what he thinks. So he just lets me go. But yeah, I mean, the older you get, the freer you feel, because you can either be your chronological age, and then people say, "Oh dear, would you like to sit down? There's your cane," or you can be the age you feel, in which case you just do whatever you want to do, and nobody, cares because they assume you're retired. Well, I'm working harder than I've ever worked.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know what retirement would look like or what that.
I tried it twice. Oh, you would never want to even try it. It's so.
No, I don't. I don't want to try it. It's never, the thought of it has never appealed to me.
I wouldn't even retire from my law practice.
Mm-hmm.
I still keep all my credentials in all 3 states. I never want to retire. Oh.
The other side of that is that people will say, well, I'm not old enough. So the other thing that age gives us is some sensing of, I don't need to care about what anybody else thinks.
Nobody has a right to even have an opinion. That's the great thing about it.
Yeah. But
So
that's always been true. We just didn't know it.
I didn't know it at all. No, that's
So
right.
I want to go inside. I want to get quiet within myself and find that still point within myself, because then I feel what's resonant to do. I feel what's resonant to step into. I feel the coherence.
No,
And
yeah, I agree. I agree. I'm trying to think of the ideal age. I think the ideal age would be 80. I'm not there yet.
what does that mean? I'm not there yet either. What is an ideal age? I think it's like when I have two grandsons, and or even when my daughter was growing up, people would say, "Oh, how old she is? Oh, is she? Oh, that's a good age." I said, "What's a bad age? There is no bad age."
Early 70s struck me as not quite old enough yet.
Oh, I'm old enough. I'm early 70s, and I'm old enough for what?
I don't
I'm old enough
know.
to do what, I mean, I don't know what that
I
means.
didn't feel quite old enough to be really respected. There were too many other people the same age. But when I'm 80, I'll feel old. I'll feel sage.
You think you will. You think you will.
I
But
think I will.
maybe you could do it today. I mean, I don't know how old you are today, but how about today being that right age?
I'm 79, so I'm not quite old enough. But when I'm
And what is
80,
that one day going to do?
I don't know. When I'm 80, I'll be really moon cool. Then I think I'll really be moon cool.
I think you're moon cool right now. I have to tell you. I know I'm just your guest and you're the host, but I
No,
think you're
no,
moon
no, you are. No, you really are a lot more than a guest. We're really friends now. And I'm going to have you back, and we're going to have more silly, serious, but very deeply serious discussions, which are the best kind of discussions to have.
Truly, truly.
What's great is that we know we're talking about very serious things. But when you're
Important.
talking about very serious, deep things, we can't be self-important about them because we know these are very serious things. But we also know, I mean, when I asked God, I was really concerned about this. I mean, Jesus, when I met with him in the astral plane, told me I didn't die on the cross to take people's sins on me. I died on the cross to prove to you, to prove to everyone, when I rose from the dead, which was the point of it, that life is eternal. Your life is eternal because my life was eternal. That's why I did it.
And what I can do, you
And so,
can do.
yes, what I did, that was why. And do you know that to reanimate that body, they now can tell from the Shroud of Turin, to reanimate that body took more power, more concentrated power than we could produce even now, all at once. With all of the ability we have to produce power on this entire planet, if we tried to do it all at once, we couldn't produce as much power as he was able to produce with his dead body. You know, it was with his living body inside the dead body. But the point is, there was a time a few years back, well, probably 10 years back, when I was very troubled by so many things. And I said, God, what then is sin? Can you show me what sin is? And he showed me my little son when he was a tiny baby, maybe 2.5 years, toddling around in our living room then. Everything was, taste. You can't, no accounting for taste. Everything was light blue carpet, light blue and white sofa. And the God from the Sistine Chapel, which, long white beard. God showed me that God sitting on the sofa and my son toddling around with a cup of juice in his hand. And God is talking to him and laughing with him. And then the baby spills the juice and he sits down on his little diaper and he starts to cry. And God laughs because, the baby sinned. He spilled his shoe. That God laughs and he picks the baby up and he cuddles him.
Mm-hmm.
And a voice in my mind said, that's sin. I never forgot that. That's how God sees sin. We're all babies.
And we just spilled some juice, and that's it.
That's it. That's how God sees sin. Sin is nothing.
And sin is a made-up thing.
None of it matters.
Yeah. So I talk about that in Unconditional Remembrance, too, about sin. Because the whole idea of it doesn't make sense. And so original sin to me is simply original forgetting. We forget. And that's part of the design. When we are born, we forget.
We'll grow out of it. We're just learning now. That's how Jesus sees sin. That's how God sees sin. But that's what we have to relearn. We maybe we knew it once, but
well, that's it. And we forget. And so now there's some things that we have to go through. We have to learn again. We have to remember. And as we remember, there's a different frequency that's there in the body. And we start drawing to us the experiences that we need to have. And that to me is okay. That's the blessing, really. That's the blessing that we came in with.
And these religions, and every religion is man-made. We know where Christianity came from. 300 years after Jesus died on the cross and rose from the dead and ascended, the Roman Emperor Constantine saw what he thought was a cross in the clouds, and a voice said to him, he thought, by this sign you shall conquer.
He codified something that was not to be codified. He brought in the whole idea of control and that we need somebody in between us and God.
Well, he did something good. He created a Bible, which includes the words of Jesus, which otherwise maybe we wouldn't have today. Good thing. It's a good thing. But he wrote in some extra words, which Jesus tells us now he never said. Those were bad words. And I mean, I could pick them out and show you the words that Jesus never said. But the point is, all of the religions, all of them, are human-made. We don't need religions to be close to God. All we have to do is open our hearts. God is right there in our hearts. He's already there. God already is.
God already is, as are we. I mean, we have that spark of divinity within us. And when we start to remember that and live it, and that's what many people have told me about this book is that it's not really a book. It's not a how-to, and it was not a manual. It was if anything, it was a transmission, and it was something to awaken something within you so that you can feel that. You can feel that's your own spark, not to follow me, not to follow you, not to follow somebody else, but to know that we have the absolute capacity to be able to breathe in presence and create with that.
I try to tell people, a lot of people have asked me how they could have a relationship with their spirit guide, like the one I have with Thomas. And I've tried to help them do that, but it just takes so much patience because it's not a shout, it's a whisper. At least at first, it's the tiny whisper.
Yeah, it definitely is. Yeah, but we have to get quiet enough to be willing to hear it and to receive it.
And to be willing to understand that it's a very different person than maybe we were hoping to have for our guide.
For me, I don't, even beyond spirit guides, there's presence. And we have the capacity to be able to receive presence and to have that guidance and go directly to source and not have to say, oh, this priest here or this rabbi there gets to determine that or gets to interpret that, because that's all it is.
I have only known one clergyman in my whole life that I would trust to say anything about God, and that was my childhood. My childhood
How
pastor.
wonderful.
I was very blessed to have. I know that Thomas brought him to me. He was really very saintly. I think, and he was so devoted to Jesus. He read him faithfully. He preached him every Sunday. If it hadn't been for him, I'm not sure that I would be doing this work. He really, he was very devoted. And other people tell me they were blessed in childhood to have someone who led them that way. So I just, that's what I pray for. I pray that every child finds someone in childhood who can open their minds and hearts to God that way.
And it may or may not be a clergy person. You know, for me, it was a librarian.
Well, that's good.
In my local library down the street from my elementary school. And what I felt from her was just that unconditional love. And that's anything else beyond that. Okay, that's content. But the unconditional love is the physical experience, or the energetic experience. And when we have that, when we get to experience that, wow.
Yeah, no, that's really true. It's a wow. The problem is that it's such a close experience, and it's so easy for people who are not pure to exploit that relationship, as we know from what's happened in the Catholic Church. That's been pretty awful.
And it happens in other places as well. But absolutely. And that's where we look to the outside for the outside world to explain us to ourselves. And as soon as we do that, I think we suffer. We do suffer in some way because we've given up our own sovereignty.
Yes. But children don't know how not to give up their sovereignty. They trust adults.
They trust because these are the people that are going to take care of us. And they may be good-hearted. They may do something with the best quote unquote intentions.
Yeah.
But rarely is it a relationship where somebody is encouraging the child to learn more about what they already know and to bring that forward, as opposed to taking on the external measures.
But now you help people. We're coming toward the end of our time. I want to make sure people understand that if they are listening to you and it's resonating with them, how is it you help people?
I think mostly what I would say is that I help activate this connection within them, because it's not about me being a guru. I am a teacher, but I am someone that helps activate this inner connection so that it becomes so strong within them that they know how to get the guidance. They know how to ask the questions inside themselves so that they can see, what do I need to do about this situation? I remember when I left my marriage, and it was my own inner guidance system that allowed me to do that. It was not somebody else either giving me permission or saying you really should do this. And I had learned to trust it. And it's that trust of what our relationship truly is that makes that possible. And I think my work is simply about turning people to look in the right direction.
Yes. But it seems to me, from reading your book, from meeting you, from the things you've said, that you truly have found a fairly reliable way to help people to raise their spiritual vibration pretty well and rapidly in this lifetime.
Absolutely.
One of the
Yes.
things that I teach people when I have the opportunity to do it, I've taught some classes on this, but I just have not had time to do very much of it, is to teach people to use this as their last earth lifetime. You can do it. I tell people, however late it is in this lifetime, you can make it your last earth lifetime.
Yeah.
There are certain things you need to do to shed the negativity, to learn to love perfectly, to forgive completely, and you can do it. You can make this your last time on earth. Otherwise,
Absolutely.
as the Buddhists say, you're going to be turning on the wheel.
And that's true. And I've had people that say, no, that's okay. I'm okay with that. I'll do
I'm going
that.
to be coming back and coming
Okay.
back and coming back. I don't care. But if you want to make this your last earth lifetime, I think you are someone I would introduce to them and say, you gotta meet this lady because I think you can teach them how to do that. I've probably said this about no other guest, but I think from your book, from what you've said, I think you can teach people to do that. And
Roberta, I haven't framed it that way. I haven't even thought of it that way.
I believe you can do it.
Yeah, well, what is so important to me more than anything is the freedom that we discover in knowing our own inner connection, knowing the truth of who we are, remembering who we are. And I know that's what you're saying. I know that's what you're saying.
So many people who say, I don't want to come back. If you don't want to come back, this lovely woman's email address is in the footer to this episode. Give her a call. Send her an email. I think that she's someone you need to know. I wish I could.
Yeah, come on to the Baca Institute. I hope you'll put that into the show notes because there's so much there that people can start to encounter. Reading the book, reading more in all the different programs that are available. Joining me for the Tray meditation sessions. That's a very easy way to start being exposed to that.
Yes. Learn to love and to grow spiritually. And you even have described the process. So you've been through it yourself. This works. What you teach works. And I can't say that about a lot of people, let me tell you. So I think that's pretty wonderful, my darling. That's wonderful.
Thank you, Roberta. Thank you for, your openness, your capacity to have this kind of a conversation, and for teaching me about tricycles.
You got to do this. Let me tell you, it's cool. It is the best. And now stay right there. I just have to tell everyone who our guest is for next week, and this is a kind of special one. So I'll be right back. I first have to just have this just a few minutes of chatting with people, and I'll be right back. Oh, this has been so much fun, everybody. Terrific. Once again, though, we've come to the end of our time. This has been Seek Reality with Roberta Grimes. I'm so happy, you especially, that you could be here today. Please never forget, my dear ones, that you are a powerful, eternal being. You never began, you never will end. And when you know what that means, it changes everything in our lives for the better. And now next week, our guest, a very special guest, is Dr. R. Craig Hogan. He'll be here for a wonderful 50th time in our almost 12 and a half years of doing these weekly Seek Reality programs together. We're not sure. We're still talking about what our topic is going to be next week. But in each of the 49 previous times our wonderful friend Craig has been with us, we've managed to find something new to talk about. So I think we'll have something new next time, too. So just please be with us next week. This is going to be special. And this week, our guest has been Laurie Seymour, who has been with us for the first time to talk about her book, Unconditional Remembrance, Your Connection to Source. I meant it when I said that Laurie, who is the creator of the quantum connection process, which helps you to build a program, she says, for business and other aspects of life which is your own divine blueprint and gives you what she calls the financial flow that you deserve with the time, health, and well-being to enjoy it, all of that is fine. But I think what she teaches is something which I don't have the time, I'm sorry, to teach to very many people. And that is how to make this your last necessary earth lifetime. She's teaching people how to shed negativity, to gain positivity, and to shoot right up in your spiritual growth. That's what she is teaching. So if you think that's something you want to do, I would just get in touch with Laurie. Her book is available on Amazon, and her email address is in the notes to her Seek Reality program. I would get in touch with her, please. We also should mention that our dear friend Craig Hogan is the president and guru of Seek Reality Online, and that's your one-stop resource for all things afterlife. Just go to seekreality.com, start to learn for yourself that your own reality truly is eternal. And if you're fed up, if you're happy with Christianity, just stay in it. But it is negativity based. I'm so sorry to say it. It truly is. And if you are tired of that, and if you want to know more about what Master Jesus truly teaches, then go to teachingsbyjesus.com and you can learn there what is his truth at last. He asked us to build the website, but he has not yet asked us or told us it's time for us to promote it. When he does, we are going to promote the dickens out of it. But meanwhile, you can go to teachingsbyjesus.com and learn what Jesus taught. And that's all we have time for. So meanwhile, this has been Seek Reality with Roberta Grimes. Please enjoy and make the most of this coming week in our one reality, always knowing that you are a powerful, eternal being, and you, most of all in this entire universe, you are infinitely, eternally, and perfectly loved.
You've been listening to Seek Reality with Roberta Grimes. Roberta blogs and answers questions at robertagrimes.com. Join us every week as we explore what the afterlife evidence and modern science combine to tell us is true about the one reality we all share. Knowing the truth changes everything.